Good morning everyone, on this lovely sunny morning. I apologise that I've not been around for a few weeks. I've been busy with other projects and work, and also still trying to get over the shock of hitting a deer last Sunday. It was on this very road that it happened. I'm hoping today when we get along the road that it won't be a problem. But as you know, with these things you can never be sure about what is going to jump out the hedge at you. All of my friends that I told about it told me that I did very well not to come off the bike, and that, you know, it was just minimal damage to plastics and also a bent radiator. The radiator's not too bent, it's not leaking fluid, so it's not going to be replaced at this moment in time. There's some nice bends on this road, but you still have to be careful. To 6,000 miles on the odometer, 4,000 of which are the miles that I've done. When I purchased the bike in September, it only had 2,000 miles on the clock, so barely run in. I just can't get over how gorgeous today is. Especially after Saturday, when it just rained and rained and rained. I hope the audio is not too bad today. I have been trying to figure out how I can sight the microphone better in the helmet to avoid the wind noise problem. After watching back the first video with the microphone, I wasn't that impressed with the audio because you can still hear wind noise quite a bit in the helmet. I think it might be something to do with the make of helmet that I'm using. Perhaps if I switch to something like a Shoei or an Arai helmet, it could be a bit better. But they're all things that I need to think about for the future, not for now. The infamous spot from last Sunday's massacre when I hit the deer. When I drove past during the week, you could see it beside the road, so it must have had a headache from where it hit the bike and then hit something else afterwards. It didn't get very far from where I hit it. I'm still a bit wary of hedges and watching what's coming out of them just in case, because I don't want it to happen again. For a split second there, I did think I was going to come off, and it was like riding a Brucken Bronco for a few seconds. This is the exact spot where it happened, and I stopped just there. This week I'm off work all week, so I don't know what I've got planned. Could be going fishing one day or riding my bike. I know that I have to get on with the pond at one of my friends' houses, ready for the season ahead. the fish in the small pond are getting a bit too big. Admittedly though, this morning when you joined me, I am going into work briefly. I've got to pick up a parcel for one of my other projects that I'm working on. I'm trying to get more involved in photography and some other bits and pieces just to occupy my spare time, and also it's just a fun hobby to have. I would never profess to be the best photographer, but I don't think I take a very bad picture. It's just whether people like what I produce and are prepared to buy it, or even if they can just go to my gallery and look at it. That would be a great help to me, because it would help get my name out there a bit more. Obviously I know with my YouTube I use the name Mr. Subatomic 012. I thought that I didn't really want to use my real name for that, and with my photography side of things I use part of my real name. But I know that a lot of YouTubers like to have an air of mystery about them and do not like people to know exactly who they are. So this junction is always fun. Always looking to the right just in case, because you don't want to stop unless you have to. Luckily we don't. But then just up here on the road they tried laying the surface dressing a couple of weeks ago, but they used the incorrect bonding agent, so it didn't stick to the road. So as a result, all the chippings were strewn all over the road and none of them stuck. They did the highways agency did apologise for it and said that they were looking into it and will relay it when they can, but in the meantime it's one of those things that you have to go very slowly, because you just never know what's going to happen. And as you can see, they've already got a sweeper out this morning trying to sweep away the rest of the loose chippings. And the road surface is now terrible. Of course, you get people behind you going, "Why is he going so slow?" Because I do not want to fall off on this stuff. And as we come along here, you'll see the sign of the town that I live in at the moment. It's a nice little market town. It's the home of Thomas Gainsborough. And I also believe that John Constable stayed at Thomas Gainsborough's house, because they were friends. It looks like they've already tried sweeping this side up this morning. Job trying to cycle up the hill. I know that these cameras don't really give the angle of the hill that well. I have to say that overall I am happy with the Olfi 1.5 black that I'm currently using. I decided to go for Olfi because I didn't want to follow the route of everyone else and use GoPro. But like all cameras, it has its advantages and its disadvantages. The main disadvantage I talked about in the first video that I used it. Come on, lights. Yay, let's go. This road is always notorious for traffic because there is no bypass on this side of the town. So if you're coming from the Houston direction, you have to come into the town and round the town on the one-way system. And of course these narrow medieval streets weren't designed for 40-ton lorries, double-decker buses and the volume of traffic that we have these days. The Mill Hotel. Still trying to work out in editing how I can edit out my speedo. I suppose the easy answer is just not to look at it. Or the other easy answer is not to make videos of you riding. After all, it does take a lot of concentration to ride the bike alone without talking to people. So that is enough for me for today. Thanks for watching. I know that my content's probably not the most interesting watch, but just hang on in there. I'm doing the best I can, and I will catch up with you all soon.